Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Aha Moments with Don Oni. This week, we're going to be looking at the topic, the joys of motherhood. Becoming a mother is a source of joy. As soon as a woman gets pregnant, she's excited beyond explanation. And then the birth of any child in a family or a child in a family is actually a thing of excitement. It brings untold, unspeakable joy. However, that joy does not remain automatically. For you to be able to sustain the joys of motherhood, there is a lot of work to be done by the mother. I see people who misunderstand this work or the level or the kind of work to be done. There are people that think that, oh, I work hard, I make a lot of money, I make my children comfortable in terms of giving them good food, that's fine. In terms of taking them to good schools, that's also very beautiful. In terms of buying them good clothes, beautiful. Buy them toys, make them comfortable. Some people go to the extent of buying little children gadgets and they are connected to the internet. That should be done with a lot of supervision. But all of these things we think we do for our children are beautiful, but they are not the most important things we need to do for our children. They are not the most important things we owe our children. You see, some women also who are spiritual will tell you that, oh, I parent on my knees. I pray fervently for my children. Well, that's fine. But the truth is that prayer is only a complement for parenting and not a replacement. So prayer cannot replace parenting. For you to sustain the joy of having that child, that kind of joy you had when that child came, you have to prepare your mind and get ready to do the work. You have to be intentional about the minutest details about your children in terms of their thoughts, in terms of the kind of friends they make, in terms of the values they imbibe, in terms of the norms, in terms of their spirituality, what they think, every detail, the kind of things they say, make them, you have to be intentional about making them your best friends. The way best friends could discuss any and everything. Your children should be comfortable enough to discuss everything and anything with you. That's how to sustain that joy of motherhood. That way, you'll be able to correct when necessary, of course, correct in love. You should be able to teach. You should be able to guide. You should be able to counsel from the place of knowledge, because you know and you understand your children and you know how to navigate training them. You see, if you don't put in that work, that level of work, and think that, oh, I give them good food, they dress very well, better than other children, they go to good schools, they have gadgets at home, they are comfortable at home and all of that, then you may be treading on a very dangerous ground. What about those that outsource parenting? You give out parenting to either house help, to aunties in the house, sometimes to neighbors who leave their children for neighbors and they go chasing money. And then sometimes to schools, or you say, oh, my children are in church. They have very good children's teacher in church. All of those are beautiful. But please, nobody can carry out that responsibility better than yourself. While we thank God for all of these people who might be assisting you, it is your primary responsibility to train your children, to do the work to make sure they have the right values, to make sure they are growing up to be responsible adults. There are a lot of children today that are no more joys to their parents or to their mothers. That's the truth. And you wouldn't want your child to be one of those children. And that's why it's important that you put in the work so that your children will not bring you sorrow, so that they will continue to be source of joy to you. So I pray that God will help us to be those mothers that will not be bad examples to our children. Those mothers that will pay attention to every detail about our children, their thought pattern, their norms, their values, their friends, and every detail about them, so that we can indeed sustain the joys of motherhood. Thank you so much for doing me the courtesy of listening and watching again. I want to beg you to please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, comment, follow on Instagram. I also want to hear what you think about the joys of motherhood. And until I see you next week on Aha Moments with Don Oni, I remain your host, Dr. Onyinyechi Wariboko. Bye for now. I love you all.